scandalous allegations envelop a president, what's the impact on the people around him? Jillian Turner has worked for the White House under George W. Bush and Barack Obama. So when one of these huge controversies explodes, how distracting is it for the staff?
It's 100% distracting, and I would say it verges on sucking all the air out of the room, no matter where you are at the White House. So if you're someone who's trying to implement a domestic political agenda or message to the American people or work on U.S. foreign policy, it makes your job 1,000 times harder.
And they all say
no matter
publicly,
what.
well, we're totally focused on carrying out the work of the American people. But meanwhile, then not only is it eating up, the available ink, news space and airtime, but you might have to worry about hiring a lawyer yourself, depending on your job.
Well, I certainly, some people and certainly political appointees inside an administration will often do that, hire a communications person or a lawyer or whatever it may be to help them shore up their own defense in a case like this. But something here that's so clearly in the sort of national security realm of scandals, what happens to the folks who are working these issues inside the White House is they lose their #1 advocate. They lose the main voice in the room that counts, and that's the president. So it means that if you're somebody who's working on non-Russia related U.S. foreign policy, be it trade, be it anti-terrorism, be it counterproliferation, you have to, the president is X'd out. You saw just 2 days ago standing up there with the president of Romania. No one cares. No one cares who he's standing next to or what they're talking about. They want to talk about Russia. So if you're someone who's working on Romania policy, you've got to look elsewhere. You've got to look to the Secretary of State, the National Security Advisor.
I see. You lose the biggest megaphone in the White House. Which sets me up for my final question, which is, this was supposed to be Infrastructure Week. The president did, in fact, hold meetings and give several speeches on infrastructure, but the media attention was so focused on Comey and Russia. Here are, when he was speaking, I believe on Friday, about infrastructure, here are two banners that went up on the screen. CNN, Trump speaks live after calling Comey a liar. MSNBC, Trump talks infrastructure after blasting Comey. And that kind of speaks to your point.
Yeah, if you're that team that put together Infrastructure Week and you're excited to roll it out this past week and deliver some results and some commitments to the American people, it was a mightily depressing week for you as you realize no one in the international news media or the domestic media particularly cared about what you had to say. It's that kind of a thing that it doesn't make people's jobs impossible, but it makes them a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I just say that at the same time, there is some responsibility on the part of the media to keep reporting on things that actually affect the lives of most Americans and not just Washington scandal stuff. Jillian Turner, great to see you. Thanks so much. Ahead, some media outlets report on what Jim Comey was going to say at that hearing. How did they get it so wrong? But first, is the press going easy on Comey for admitting he's a high-level leaker? Ed Henry is on deck.